Check it out, we rapping for the Texans. Little bitty in Crenshaw Bridge, we flexing. Houston rap style, we bringing the heat. Talking Texas football, nothing compete. Got the best podcast, the loudest in the game. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Remember the name, we talking draft picks. We talking defense, we break it all down. No nonsense. H-Town with the Run Show, live on the mic, talking Texas football every Wednesday night with special guests dropping knowledge, taking the stage. Digging in Crenshaw Briggs, be holding it down in the H-Town, wiping it down, talking touchdowns in H-Town. Houston culture, we holding it down, talking news and rumors, keeping it real. No filter, we got the Texas appeal. In the Lone Star City, we're living it up. Talking all things Texas, we can't get enough. From the football field to the concrete jungle, we're repping H-Town. Ain't nothing humble, bitch.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Briggs tonight. And as always, I got my fantastic four. But today we're going to the amazing trio because Bo cannot make it today. First off, I got Mr. Kenneth, the messenger. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. What's up, y'all? What's up, Texas fans?
And always, I got my A1 since day one. He's been riding with me from day one. I got Mr. Crenshaw. What's going on, brother?
What it do?
And then, guys, we got a special guest. He lives in Tennessee, but we're not going to let that bother us. He has an amazing show called Touring the AFC South, with some good stuff on all teams, and he talks some good stuff about the Texans. And we got Mr. Mike Patton. How's it going, boss?
Thank you for having me on. And how is everybody doing tonight? Hopefully, everybody's doing great.
Hey, division champions, we're great. We're perfectly good. I do gotta appreciate Mike. Out of all the different personalities that cover the AFC South, you're pretty level headed. So I got to admire that. A lot of people seem to steer at one direction. You don't do that. So I got amend to that. That's pretty awesome. It's tough to do sometimes.
Nah, not necessarily tough. If you're a fan of ball, you learn to stay out of the way and let the facts present themselves. So
there you go.
That's just how I do it. And first and foremost, I'm a fan of football, not a fan of a team.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about football. Let's talk about the Texans. This offseason has been wild for them. What do you think of this whole offseason that the Texans had?
I thought it was great. I mean, honestly, you're adding. I have one question about it, but we'll get to that. But the things I do like is they brought back Schultz at tight end, so I think that was a good move. You bring in Stephon Diggs. You convert his deal to a 1-year deal, which is even better because you're basically counting on him being on his best behavior potentially for a new contract. You bring in, some offensive linemen. You bring in Azeez Al-Shire and Danico Autry from the Titans over to the Texans, which is two of their better defenders of last season. I mean, I do like all the moves. Of course, you can't forget Danielle Hunter. I mean, you cannot forget him. So, I do like all the moves because they address the needs that they had, except for one need, which I'm still questioning, which bringing in instead of bringing back Steven Nelson, you bring in 2 former first-round draft picks on their third team, and I'm just like, ooh, I don't know about that. But they did redeem themselves in the draft with Laster as well, which I honestly think he could be the starter in week 1.
I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Texans camp or not, but everything I've seen and reading from guys like you mentioned pre-production, DJ, Benenemy, they all just rant and rave about his lockdown coverage in camp. So I'm here for it. Crenshaw, what do you think about all the Laster love so far?
Man, I was with Mike because I want Steven Nelson back. That's my guy. Everyone know that's my guy.
But what I've seen from a rookie, he's really impressing me. But it is mini camp. I need to see what he's going to do against guys that he might not know what's coming. But so far, so good. Because, the big grief on him was his speed. But he has game speed. They talk about his 40 was too slow, but his game speed looks, up to par. So far, so good. But I think if we get in the pass rush, I think our DB is going to be good regardless, though.
All right, Kenneth.
Yeah, I think the same. What's his name? Last night he definitely impressed me. I was looking at the clips today, and I'm like, man, he breaks quick, he transitioned quick, and active hands. We all knew that, from looking at his college tape. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Lassiter can do. I kind of feel like maybe he'll be in the slot corner. This depends on C.J. Henderson or Jeff. Like if they show, hey, I'm the for sure cornerback too. But at the end of the day, I think Lassiter will definitely be on the field.
Yeah, I think he wins slot number 2. Go ahead.
I got one point. I actually think he's going to end up being outside. And I think either C.J. Henderson or Akuda are going to end up being in the slot. But honestly, I think one of them is not going to make the team. I don't think both of them are going to make the team. One of them is probably going to be cut.
Really? You think one of those guys are going to be cut?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that. And then from the things I've heard, it would not surprise me if it's C.J. Henderson that gets cut.
Okay, I did not hear that. So, I mean, look, it's a low risk, high reward, right? Like if they pan out, good. If they don't, like you said, thank you, but you don't have a spot on the team. I think it was smart because D'Amico has done this before with Tavarius Ward, right? And that's his first name for the Niners.
Yeah.
Came from the Chiefs. Was struggling there. Got nobody thought he was going to be a good corner, and then he went to San Francisco where D'Amico kind of helped make. He's a good corner.
I would say he was a solid corner for the Chiefs, but he kind of expanded on that and got even better once he got with the 49ers. Now, some would say that's the pass rush, but others would say he actually developed his skills a little bit more. So, I would say he definitely got elevated when he went to the 49ers. That is for sure.
So, and that's what I'm hoping with Henderson and Akuda, right? Like, I mean, D'Amico can be that guy. And he might not. Who knows? Again, it's just a high risk or low risk, high reward. So hopefully it pans out for us. Mike, what do you think of the Mechie story so far? A lot of people are saying that he's looking way better now, finally healing from leukemia, finally healing from that injury he had last year. Couldn't really get back for 100% because of the chemotherapy. What do you think about it?
I honestly think that this year is his first year he's going to have to do a full training camp, which is great for him. So he can kind of round into shape and not be I would say not be rounding into shape when camp's coming around or dealing with injuries and things like that. It's definitely a good spot for him to learn from the guys that he's up under. I mean, he's got Diggs, he's got Nico Collins as well. So he's got those two guys to learn up under. He's got Tank Dell that's going to be there too. So I think he's going to be more of a fourth wide receiver for them. However, he still is a guy that can bring value to them in terms of, game-breaking speed, make guys miss, things like that. Getting more back to the guy he was at Alabama than the guy you see with the Houston Texans so far.
Hey, Kenneth, I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's probably one of the guys that's going to be cut because there's so much, depth and greatness at receiver. Do you see that going for Mechie, or you think he has another year?
I think so. I know. I think last week we talked about this, and I'm kind of on the fence of I don't know. I'm hoping he doesn't get cut, but I feel like we have Robert Wood still here for a reason, and of course it could be for depth. Who knows? He can still get cut after training camp and preseason. It's still possible he gets cut, but I'm hoping Mechie gets another year. Honestly, I hope this year is the year that he shows like, hey, y'all can get rid of Robert and Noah Brown after this year, if y'all don't want to cut him right now, because I'm going to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, he can prove that he can possibly be a wide receiver three if this was to walk. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he has a lot of talent. He had situations in the past, but he's looking good. The dude is a great route runner. That's one thing that I feel like is slept on is his route running ability. He's quick, he's fast, he's explosive. And some people even compared him to Stephon Diggs coming out the draft when he came into the draft. So I think he's going to be good. I think he still has a chance to. He definitely has a chance, but I think he's going to prove that he can do what we need him to do. So I don't see him getting cut. I'm hoping he does get cut because I'm hoping he proves that he can do what we need him to do.
And now, Crenshaw, you were his biggest fan when we drafted him. You called it. What's your thoughts on the Messi situation?
Before I talk about him, Mike, do you think Desmond King is going to start at slot cornerback for us?
I think he's potentially could. Depends upon, of course, the development of Lassiter as well. But he definitely could start at the slot position, and then that would lead more to my plan of or my thoughts of one of the former first round picks getting cut. So that would be it, or Okuda playing in the slot. But yeah, I definitely think that it's very possible that Desmond King can be the starting slot corner for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, so everything I've seen from John, he's been looking real good. The speed, the burst, the twitch. I don't see him getting cut because he's CJ's boy, and they're not gonna. Hold on, let me not say boy. I don't like that word. He's CJ's guy, and and they learned from the previous quarterback. Keep your quarterback happy. So I believe he's going to get some burn, but not much PT unless guys get injured or if we have blowout games. But I'm hoping that he's back all the way because I said this on the show before, and I'm gonna say it again. I thought he was a better player than Jameson Williams at Alabama. That just my opinion. But let's go, John.
Okay, all right.
And I will say that just to add to it, I did jump right over Noah Brown, which Noah Brown is not the fastest guy, but he just gets open. So, I would say wide receiver 5 would probably be the spot, or potentially wide receiver 4 if Noah Brown doesn't have the same kind of season he had last year. But yeah, definitely. I honestly see Robert Woods getting cut. I do see him getting cut. I don't think they keep him over a young guy that's still developing, especially when it comes to the money in the contracts and the money that they probably could save with cutting him too. So that's what just my thoughts right there.
Okay, all right. Well, seeing what we saw last year, there was a couple players that got hurt that kind of had some setbacks, like Jalen Petrie, Kenyon Green, Titus Howard. Who do you think? And you can mention people I didn't name. Who do you think needs to have the season to solidify their spot on this team?
Hmm. I'd say Petrie needs a good season this year. Petrie didn't necessarily have the best season switching different style defense this year. So I would say Petrie, from all that I've been told about Petrie. I mean, and watching Petrie play, coming out of college, he was definitely a guy I was like, okay, this guy would be an all-pro safety. Just seemed like something didn't connect last year. So hopefully this year, whatever that was, maybe needs more experience in the defense. Hopefully that connects, and hopefully he's the back to being the all-pro safety that I think he can be. If not, then there's definitely got to be some conversations about who's going to be our next safety, or is Bullet going to be our guy? That's probably going to be the conversation that comes up next.
Okay. Chris, I'll ask you the same question, bud.
I want to say Kenyon Green, but I feel like the last 2 years he's been injured, and we plugged and play a guy at his guard position, and we've been okay. So I'm going to piggyback off Mike and say Petrie as well because I'm still concerned with Petrie and Ward on the back end as our safeties. I don't know what the hell we're going to get from those guys. You know, Petrie was injured and Ward stayed injured. So I think Petrie has to have a good season. I don't know if he was playing a position last year or he just wasn't getting the defense, but he had a horrible, horrible year. So hopefully he can bounce back. So I'm going to say Petrie.
Okay. Kenneth, any different?
Man, look, it seems like we on a big feature because I was thinking this earlier. I was like, man, I'm a little worried. The reason I'm worried is because they put him at the slot. You see in training, mini count. They put him at the slot, and my thing is, we saw last year he had trouble guarding people. You know, staying in front of people. He gets burnt, and he misses assignments. You know, in the back end. But he definitely had trouble guarding people. So I feel like him being down in the box and then put him in coverage might not, help him to his strengths. But one thing about as far as Bullock, like I think he's going to be the reason they do put him in the box. He's going to because he's a great free safety, and he can be free safety or strong safety, and he covers well in the back end. I know he was in college doing that, and NFL is a different story. He still got to learn and grow, but I think he can potentially be that person that we do have in the back end. So Petrie is a person that I'm definitely looking like now. I'm kind of worried. Not only Petrie, Damian Pierce. I'm not too worried, but I am worried about like, hey, hopefully he can get the zone scheme and be successful in the zone scheme. I mean, he got a dog in front of him, a great vet in front of him, and Joe Mixon. And hopefully he can learn and catch and understand the game a little bit more and have a little bit more balance and more patience when it comes to the zone. Because we all know Damian Pierce like to, he like to shoot the gap and ready to go. He's a down the hill running back. He's not a guy that's patient and find the holes and go like Aaron Foster used to do for us. So hopefully he can get that skill set and learn from Joe Mixon. So those are two guys that I'm kind of thinking of and wondering, hey, we all know like they have to show something to not possibly get cut after this year. So yeah.
Okay, I see it. My guy is I'm not picking. I'm not on the Jay and Petrie picking train. I'm picking somebody else. I'm gonna go Titus Howard. We paid him all this big money. He has not really. I could be wrong, but I do not think he's played a whole season since he's been here. I think he's missed several games each season, and he's not playing like he's getting paid. We got Blake Fisher, who on paper looks like he could be a great swing tackle, move right or left. I would not be surprised if Blake Fisher is not your starting right tackle at the end of the season. And so if Titus Howard does not want that, he better do something about it. Because one thing you got to do is protect CJ. That's the only way you're going to win, and you can't protect him if your star players are not there. And right now, Titus Howard is considered one of your star players, and you got to fix it. Best ability is availability, so you have to be on the field. Mike, you have anything added to those?
Well, I did want to say about Damian Pierce. He's more of a guy that's just he's not a guy that fits more the San Francisco style of running. That style of running is your one cut and go. He's more of a guy that's going to do a few different things. He might dance a little. He might just duck his head and run wherever. But it just seems like to me the vision isn't quite there, and I don't know if that vision can come in one off season. To be honest, I just see this just might not be an offense that fits him. And then for the comment that said Petrie would be a safety linebacker hybrid this season, I don't know necessarily if that's the case. I mean, if I recall, he does have a little bit of trouble tackling, so I don't know if that would be a great thing for him either. To put him in the box to be a guy to actually tackle people, I don't know. So that's just my thoughts. But hey, maybe they know something I don't know, but. That's just me seeing it with my own two eyes.
Now that you said that about Pierce, so do you think Jaws Jordan from Louisville? You think he has a chance to take the running back 2 spot from him?
He has the potential to. He's more of a guy that I think fits what they want to do with Bobby Slowick on offense. The only thing he's just really light compared to the other two backs. That's the only question mark I have about him. Other than that, I think he fits exactly what Bobby Slowick wants to do offensively in the scheme as well.
Okay.
He's number 42, right?
What's that?
On the team. Is he number 42 on the team?
Yes.
The running
I
back we
believe
talking about?
so.
I think
I
he
believe
gained
so.
some weight, if I'm not mistaken. I looked at him like pre-draft, and he looked a little light, like you said, but it looked like he gained some weight. I don't know if it's enough, because at the end of the day, it's the NFL. I mean, we have some small running backs in the league, like Spears with the Titans and other backs, but he gained some weight. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, he don't lose the speed, though.
Well, hopefully he's not a guy that is not able to maintain it or loses it pretty quickly, because there are guys that their metabolism and just being out in the hot sun working a lot causes them to lose weight. So he potentially could have gained that weight only to lose it during the off season and training and things like that. So we'll definitely see. We've seen guys gain weight and it hurt their game, and seen guys gain weight and only enhance it. So we'll definitely see what happens with him, but definitely a good observation there in terms of him gaining his weight and trying to I guess be the back that can take a little bit of more of a pounding in terms of running linebackers and defensive linemen and people hitting him repeatedly.
Yeah, especially linebackers, right? Because Bobby Slowick's offense has a lot of running back passes. So I mean, the linebackers are going to be there a lot around him when he goes into passing plays. So I think you're right there. The linebackers ain't no joke. So he does have to put on some meat on his bones to stay healthy, to be out there. Crenshaw, Kiddo, y'all got any questions for Mike before we move on to the schedule and predictions from him about training camp?
Crenshaw, you got something?
Well, I have a question, Mike. What are your thoughts on CJ's off season? There's been a lot of talk about he's talking too much. He need to calm down. We're putting a target on our back. What are your thoughts on CJ?
I mean, CJ's being CJ. That's really all I got. But as long as he's putting in the work and things like that, I really have no issues with him doing what he does and being the person that he is. Now, if it starts showing cracks in the program and things like that, then I would have some questions. But I don't think all those cracks are there. I just think he's just being who he is and the experience in life and who he is. So as long as he's getting his work in, doing what he needs to do, team building as the leader that he is, I really don't have too many worries about CJ.
Yeah. Before I move on to Kenneth, I do got to say something to these fans. I've seen people saying, "Oh, CJ Stroud's passes are looking off. He's looking inactive. His passes are looking bad." People, you said the same thing last year too, and look what happened. Like, calm down. Look, if you want him to make a bad pass, this is the place you want him to make a bad pass. Is the mini camp. Get the bad stuff out now before the season comes. Chill out. Like, I get it.
This is the thing people don't understand. This thing called practice, they use that to kind of make those mistakes so they can get better, so they don't do it in the game. So, while you're critiquing every pass in preseason or the OTAs or things like that, no, it's not really the pass you need to critique. You need to keep in mind of the different mistakes or things like that are happening and see if those things are happening 3 weeks later. If those things are happening 3 weeks later, then you have a problem. But other than that, no, you don't.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. He's making passes and plays that he normally wouldn't do. Like that pass to Diggs where it got buck up by Lassiter. I guarantee you that's not a pass he's making in the game because Lassiter was all over Diggs. Pause. So I don't think he makes that pass. So calm down, people. I get it. You're excited, but chill out for right now. Kenneth, you
Yeah,
got anything to ask?
practice is for
Yeah.
chemistry, folks.
Right.
Practice is to build
Exactly.
chemistry.
Exactly.
Don't make me pull out the AI, okay? Don't make me go
Mhm.
Allen Iverson, all right?
No, for real. Yeah, we gotta relax because at the end of the day, they're trying to build chemistry. And like Mike said, it's practice. Like you do what you got to do in practice to make sure you don't do it in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you see if you can do this. If it's not right, then you know what I'm saying. You know what you learn from it. You keep it pushing. The one thing from CJ last year, he learned from every mistake that he made last year, and he grew up from it. And he kept pushing. So yeah, our fans definitely got to relax. But as far as the question for me is, who do you think will be our wide receiver one? Like, who do you think will have the most numbers and be for sure wide receiver one?
I think Nico's still going to be wide receiver one. I mean, many have talked about Stephon Diggs, and if he's going to be unhappy with the amount of catches, or if he's going to throw his hands up in disgust or any of that nature. Again, that move to put him on a 1-year deal probably about guarantees that he's going to be on his best behavior because he wants to get paid again, and he's not getting any younger. So I think Nico will be the guy. I think CJ Stroud will go a long way in terms of kind of ensuring that everyone's on the same page, everyone's in agreement with how everything's going on, and that the main goal is to try to bring a championship to Houston. So I think that in that aspect, I think wide receiver one will be Nico. Wide receiver two will be Diggs. Dell will be the slot like he usually was last year. And then, of course, 4, 5, and 6, you really ain't kind of worrying about that quite as much. But I would say it's Noah Brown, that's Mechie, and then whoever else. But those are usually the guys that also play special teams as well. So that's just my thoughts on that one. I think that Nico Collins will be the number one wide receiver for this team going into the year.
Okay. Kershaw, you got any more questions?
No, I think Diggs going to be number one wide receiver because Nico Collins have shown us the last 2 years he can't stay on the field, and I don't think it's going to change this year. I think he's going to miss games, especially after he signed the contract. He's definitely going to miss games. So I'm going to go with Stephon.
Good job banking on that.
I'm just saying, man. They should, he signed a deal. He gonna be hurt. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you.
Oh no.
Well, he usually has. Go ahead, Kim.
No, I was just gonna say the way how he's talking in these press conferences after he got paid, before he got paid, it seemed like it's the same guy. You know what I'm saying? Mentality wise, he got the same mentality. Now, as far as health wise, of course, you have to do what you have to do. Like Crenshaw said last week, you need to take some of that guaranteed money he's gonna get from the signing and put it into for his body and make sure you have his body right. But yeah, I feel you though, Crenshaw, because at the end of the day, you do miss games, and that's one thing to worry about a little bit. But hopefully, he can stay healthy.
Well, I would say he needs to invest some of that money into the little cryogenic chamber after practice. It seems like to be the thing to do to keep yourself healthy. So that would be something to do. But I also am putting it into the air that there are some players that do get paid and still have the dog in them and still remember where they came from to get those deals. So he can definitely be that guy as well and be out there on the field and kind of continue to reward the team. I mean, honestly, look at some of the history of different players that got paid. Some have been good, some have been truly bad. But on the flip side of that, a lot of players that have been paid by their own team have came out and done pretty well through the last few years.
Okay. Well, speaking of Nico Collins, now that you've seen the contract that Justin Jefferson just got and CD Lamb is going to try to get, but we all know Jerry Jones don't like paying his receivers. Do you think the contract for Nico was smart when they did it? Now that you've seen the bigger picture,
it's always smart to be the first one to race to the table and get the contract done. So yes, very, very smart to get that contract done. Don't have to worry about it. He's getting his money. He's happy. He's got generational money now. So there you go. So I would say definitely very, very smart. And another guy that you didn't mention that's looking at this contract too is Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers. So he's definitely another person that's looking at that contract. Okay, it's my time soon. But I think he'll end up getting paid by the 49ers as well, because I believe they created some more cap space with the post-June 1st cut of Eric Armstead.
And also, the signing of McCaffrey didn't that free up some space too? The extension.
Did they extend him already? I don't know
Yeah,
if they extended him already.
I think it was two days ago. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if they did, yeah, it brings his cap number down. That creates more cap space as well, and it wouldn't surprise me. I would say Ward. Ward is going. I butchered his first name, but anyway, he's going into, I believe, the last year of his deal. So that'll be interesting as well, what decision they make with him too. So everyone's focused on Ayuk and his deal. You're forgetting about Ward, and Ward potentially being a free agent after this season too. So that's another thing that, you got one hand over here that everyone's paying attention to, but you got the other one that people are not looking at.
Hey, that's fine. They can let him walk. He can come to the Houston Texans with D'Amico. I'll be okay with it.
How did I know that was coming?
I will be okay with it. All right, Mike. Well, the Texans have the fourth hardest schedule when it comes to strength on paper. As Texans fans, should they be worried about the strength of the schedule, or should they relax and trust in the Texans?
Well, the strength of the schedule is also based off of last year's teams, so I wouldn't be necessarily worried about the schedule. The thing I would be worried about is how those games fall. That's what I would be worried about, because I think the Kansas City game falls in a stretch where they got 10 games in 3 days or something of that nature, or just a lot of games within a certain amount of time. That would be the stretch I would be worried about most. But they do have a pretty interesting and tougher schedule this year, and the beginning of it isn't quite as easy either, if I can remember correctly. But but push come to shove, you also got to remember these are based off the records of a team last year, not this year. It could be a completely total different team this year for any of the teams that they're facing. So yeah, so just the landing of the game is going to be more interesting than the actual opponents that they were playing.
Okay. So going off of what you've seen, what do you think the record for the Texans be next year, and if they make the playoffs or not?
Well, I definitely think they're going to make the playoffs. Let's just go ahead and get that one out the way. But the thing I also want to take a look at is I think they'll probably be around 12 to 13 wins this year.
Wow,
I think they definitely will be. I mean, honestly, if I want to rank the AFC South, if I want to put it, and I will say this, let me just go ahead and say this now, because I know there's going to be a particular fans of a particular team that are going to have some animus towards me. But all the teams in the AFC South, I think, will have positive records this year. There will not be one losing team in the division. I think they're one of the best divisions. This is one of the best divisions in the NFL, not just in the AFC.
Most improved, definitely, right?
Oh, for sure, most improved.
Right.
Definitely. So if I've got it in order, I'll go with the Houston Texans at 12 to 13 wins. Then after that, it's going to be close between the Colts and I think the Titans. I think the Colts and the Titans will actually be. If I got to pick one or the other, I'm going to go with the Titans, because they did the most to actually fix their needs, as opposed to the Colts just re-signing the same guys they had last year. So I would say, the Titans, I would have them in second, maybe 10 wins, maybe 10, maybe 11 wins potentially. The Colts right there at 10 wins, and then the Jaguars, I got them at 9 and 8. I just think the Jaguars, when they tried to upgrade their team, they also let some things slide too. Like Darius Williams, he was their corner opposite of Tyson Campbell. He's gone. They cut him, and they bring in Eric Armstead, which helps the need. And they're going to a 4-3 defense, by the way, this year, not 3-4. But they don't have a corner opposite. They're going to have a young corner, basically, opposite of Tyson Campbell. And even he's under the microscope this year, because he's going into, fourth, fifth year, almost contract time for him, too. And then, of course, on the opposite side, you have Calvin Ridley that left, but you bring in Gabe Davis, which I understand you bring in him. You bring in Brian Thomas Jr., but you also have to remember that Gabe Davis was extremely inconsistent when he was with the Buffalo Bills. So, you kind of have a plus minus on both sides of the ball, and you have questions, of course, with a rookie and Brian Thomas Jr. and then potentially a rookie at the opposite corner. for the Texans, no, Jaguars defense. So that's to me why I got them being last in the division. Doesn't mean they're going to be horrible. It just means they're just going to be last in this division this year, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. I have the Jaguars last in my predictions too, only because of one move that they didn't make in the offseason, and that was getting rid of Press Taylor. I I think he's terrible offensive coordinator. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's hindering Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the generational talent that everybody pegged him to be,
You'd be
but
absolutely correct.
I do think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's living up to his potential because of the offensive coordinator. So
I
gotta
would
change
I
that.
would I would say this. I don't think it's necessarily that he's not living up to his potential because of the offensive coordinator. Because if we remember the year before, Doug Peterson was the offensive coordinator and running the offense, and then they were bad, bad, bad. Then boom, he had this great run to get them into the playoffs. And then last year it was kind of the reverse of that. He started off good and he tanked it. So to me, I think it's more of an indictment of Trevor Lawrence being an up and down quarterback than opposed to who his offensive coordinator and things like that are. Because to me, if you're a generational talent, you figure things out eventually and you even out. He hasn't quite evened out yet, and he's entering his fifth year. So I think he's just a guy that's going to be up and down at times. He's a talented quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's just going to be up and down at times.
Okay, all right. So you say Texans win the division and go to the playoffs.
Right.
Where do you see the Texans in the playoffs? Do we finally make it to the promised land and make it to the AFC Championship, or do we fall short in the divisional
Hmm.
round once again?
Honestly, I haven't made it that far yet, to be honest, but I do see them in the playoffs, and I do see them having a great chance to make it far because of the pieces they've added and addressing their needs, building depth up front. I mean, we didn't talk about Derek Barnett that they still have there, which former Tennessee ball, and he actually went to the same high school I went to, by
Oh
the way.
wow.
Him and Jalen Ramsey were actually high school teammates. I don't
Oh,
know if anyone knew that. Yeah. And also Dawson Knox actually went to that same high school too that played for Buffalo Bills. So they all were there around the same time. Each other were there.
dang. Must have been feeding
Yeah.
something in the water,
Nah, just they ended up going to the same private school. That's all it was,
huh? Okay. I got you. I
man.
got you. I pick
But
up what
yeah,
they.
yeah. So that's how it goes. But just the depth up front, things like that, they have a really good chance to actually make it to the AFC Championship game or potentially the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens, but I definitely think they're going to be a huge threat in the AFC this year. Of course, they basically upgraded where they were in last year in terms of different pieces in different places. The only question I have is like again the cornerback spot where you're going to have a rookie more than likely, or you're going to have a journeyman, former first round pick out there. That to me is something that will be picked at and prodded literally probably the entire year.
Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. Crenshaw, you have anything else to add?
Um, no, I don't have anything to add. All I know, if we don't make the LFC Championship game, it's a horrible season. We done too much this year, not to at least get there. That's my expectations, and I still have us at 11-6. That's my record right there, 11-6.
Okay. I agree with you. I think it's AFC Championship or bust. You done too much. The hype of the team is too large to uh, be a one and done or not make it at all. So I think you have to make it to the AFC Championship to solidify. You're right, Mike. The AFC is tough. The AFC South is growing, so what a perfect way to solidify where you're at by making it to the AFC Championship. I think that's what the Texans got to do.
I think the Texans is going to be what the Detroit Lions was last year. I think we're going to be exactly what they was. Made it to the championship game, lose. Now we win. Hey, I'm happy as hell. But I think that's what we're going to do with what the Detroit Lions did. Same type of offense, high scoring, high powering, all that right there.
Okay.
I would say one caveat to that is you'll have better pass rush than the Detroit Lions, because the Detroit Lions was Aiden Hutchinson and a bunch of guys that you don't know who they are.
Right, exactly.
Hey, that's true. That's why they picked up DJ Reader to help out that pass rush.
I mean, they can pick up a lot of other people, but they need they need to call some more people in. They need James Houston to actually be the guy he was his rookie year. Of course, he broke his leg last year, so that kind of hindered him, showing up in the second year. And when I did have a point about the Texans, I would say something that could be something to look for when it comes to CJ. Not to say that he's going to be worse this year, but there's more tape on him this year. So I wonder how he's going to make the adjustments to the adjustments that teams are going to make against him.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think that's the reason why they got more skilled players, just in case people do make those adjustments. And instead of him being a hero like he was last year, is now CJ don't fuck up. Because like Brock Purdy, I'm not saying he's Brock Purdy, he's better than Brock Purdy, but he has all that talent. Just don't fuck up, Brock. We'll win games. I feel like that's what the Texans did for CJ. That's why when I got Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, so you can't take away this option, that option. So I think last year, how our offense to me wasn't as good last year, especially in the red zone. And this year, I think we're going to be better, even though with the film on CJ. So I think it's going to be way, way better than last year, man. Way, way better.
It'll be interesting to watch.
Here's a bold take and a hot take. I think CJ Stroud becomes the first second-year player to win the NFL MVP. I'm just saying. I think he could do it. So
okay,
if he does it, you heard it here first.
Whoa, hold on, Matt. What did you say? He'd be the what?
The first second-year quarterback to win the MVP.
Patrick Mahomes did that.
Oh, true. I keep thinking he was a rookie when he did that. So
it seemed like he was, because he was in hiding for most of the year.
Right.
The first year.
Yeah. So you're right.
You're 50 touchdowns. He was balling that year. Damn.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me rephrase that. The true second year. Okay. All right. He didn't have no rest on the bench.
Kind of like a true sophomore and those different things, right?
Right. Yeah. No red shirt. Okay. It's true sophomore. All right. Kenneth, you got anything to add?
Not necessarily. I will say I agree to you though, as far as CJ getting MVP next year. I'm definitely excited for that. I don't really see him having any how do you say it? I don't see him going down. Like, I feel like he's going to go up because the more weapons and what we saw last year, as far as him picking and choosing, making the right decisions and breaking down defenses and getting into the right man. Of course, at the end of the season, we only had like 2 weapons, but he still got the ball to the right people at the right time. And this year is only up because of the weapons. As long as them guys stay healthy, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, I think everything is going to work out for him. I'm not going to predict how many touchdowns, but I do think it's going to be 40 plus. I think it's going to be 40 plus.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take it. Well, guys, we still have the contest winners. So we're going to let Mike go before I let you go, Mike, I got a question. Crenshaw kind of started this question on Twitter. As a fan, take the journalist out of you, take everything, the podcaster out of you. As a fan, what would you rather see? Would you rather see your team win 20 division titles or 1 Super Bowl and never win it again?
And never win another game?
No, never win another division. You can still make the playoffs, but just not win the division. Kind of like what the Colts have done. They won that Super Bowl and they've been flat.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say I probably would see them win a Super Bowl. I would go with the Super Bowl because, nobody remembers the Braves winning all those pennants. They remember the one pennant, the one title that they won over that entire run, not all the pennants. So I would say the Super Bowl.
Thank you. About time somebody has some knowledge. People on Twitter are just crazy. I don't get it. Chris, you got something to add to it?
No, I mean, you play to win a Super Bowl. Fuck them division titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herm Edwards' words are ringing in my head right now. You play to win the game. You know, them saying that.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So like everybody's upset about what CJ said about who were the two quarterbacks, Eli Manning and somebody else. He rather
Mhm.
take Eli Manning because he has the rings. Of course, like
Mhm.
why wouldn't he?
But here's the
Yeah,
thing.
you play to
Maybe
win the
somebody.
games.
Yeah, I have a question because maybe I didn't see the interview right. I could have sworn Gilly said that he rather take Eli Manning over A Rod, but people are switching and saying CJ said that. I think CJ probably maybe agreed to him, but I don't know if he really did agree to him. But people making it seem like CJ just came out of his mouth. Yeah, I'm taking Eli over A Rod. CJ didn't say that. That was Gilly that said that. So I don't know. People kind of switching the
You,
words up.
maybe they misread what Gilly stood for. Maybe they used the wrong G word and maybe they wanted to use gaslighting. Maybe he was gaslighting what he said. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just being
Yeah.
For real. Well, Mike, thanks for coming on. Why don't you tell everybody where we can find you on social media and what you got cooking, so that way we can support you.
All right. You can find me on social media. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Mike Patton 82. That's MikePatton 82 on Twitter, or like I like to say, the artist formerly known as Twitter, because I'm always paying homage to one of the greatest artists of all time, Prince. So, yeah, definitely. You can find me there. You can find Touring the AFC South on all your listening platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. You name it, we're there. Also on YouTube as well. It's the Mike Patton Network on YouTube, because I have two different podcasts now. So yeah, you can find me on there, and of course all the shows from the originals all the way back to 3 years ago to now, about actually 270 episodes at this point now.
Awesome.
Uh,
Congratulations, man. Appreciate
um,
it.
Mike, before you leave, if they
Mhm.
decide to make one, who would you like to play Prince?
Wow, that's a good question. Who would
Dave
I like to
Chappelle.
play Prince? Nah, can't be Dave, man. Nah, Dave too tall. You had to be doing too much makeup. I'm trying to think, man. What is
I
a
think I
actor that
think I
looks like
think
him?
Bruno. I
Oh
think
yeah,
if
Bruno
Bruno,
could do it.
if Bruno could be, I think he could be a great actor. Honestly, because be looking at his videos, so I think Bruno can do it.
Bruno could do it, but I bet you they bring somebody that nobody's talking about to play that role.
Yeah.
I could see that happening more than anything.
Somebody from London.
Man, I ain't no telling. But I
Nah,
got your joke. I see what you put
yeah,
down.
yeah.
But nah, just hey, look, if I ever get a biopic though, they can have Michael B. Jordan playing me though. That's how I want to play me. There we go.
Okay. All right.
Already.
But I'm thinking like 30 years down the line though. I gotta definitely keep growing before I can think about a biopic though.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, again, thank you for coming on, and we got to do this again. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you guys.
Peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that thing everybody's been waiting for all through social media. I got people saying when I'm getting my free jersey. Is it now? Make me the winner. Well, right now we got it. We are the contest winners. The first spin is going to be for the hat. So
Uh-oh.
drum roll,
Drum roll.
please.
Who is it?
I want to say it's going to be Isaac Everett. We'll reach out to you for your hat. And so next up is the new branding of the T-shirt of the H-Town Made. So here is your second winner for your T-shirt. Drum roll, and the winner is
It is. Let's go.
Bo 50
Go 50
Mac.
Mac.
This again.
Congrats.
This is however you entered, either on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. This is how you have your name. So if we do not reach out to you, be patient. We'll get to it. All right.
This is a big prize right here, huh?
Yes, this is the big prize for the jersey of your choice. The very big prize. And the winner is Texan Sosa.
Congrats, man.
Texan Sosa is the winner. He will get a jersey of yourself, of your choice. Of yourself, yeah, right. So the three winners again of the hat is Isaac Everett. The hat is Bo 50 Mac, and the big prize is of the jersey for Mr. Texan Sosa. Again, we'll reach out to you to social media. Guys, thank you again for doing this content.
Hold on. All right, so let the people that still listening know, like, what's the deadline for these guys to get back with you once you reach out?
Yes, the deadline, if they do not get back with me, the deadline is end of the month. July 1st, if they do not get hold of me or one of us, then we will redraw for that prize. So say Texan Sosa doesn't claim his jersey, we'll have another drawing for the prize. So make sure you sign up. Make sure you subscribe because
that need to be known so people could know, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Absolutely.
So July the 1st, fellas and ladies, gentlemen, kids, whatever. July the 1st. Make sure y'all ass get back with one of us. All right.
We've been posting it all day today. That is the contest. You should know. So if you're watching and you've seen your Isaac Everett, Bo 50 Mac, or Texan Sosa, if you see this, be looking out for a response from one of us. You will get your prize. Again, guys, thank you for entering this contest. It helps us grow. We are at 2.5 thousand. The goal for the beginning of the season is 5, so we're almost there. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. We can't be doing this without you. We hit 1,000 everywhere except Facebook. So get on your game and hit that subscribe button on Facebook as well. Chris, I'll start with you, brother. Tell us where we can find you, brother.
Man, you can find me at Fifth Ward Crenshaw on all social media platforms. That's where I be at. Let go.
All right. And Mr. Kenneth the Messenger, what about you, brother?
Yes, sir. Y'all can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Kenneth the Messenger and Twitter, what we call it X now, Messenger_Kenneth.
Okay. And then you can find our brother Bo at Bo Diggity 713 doing great things on TikTok. Of course, you can find me at A1 Day One Texans. And like I said earlier, Texans fan about everywhere. Make sure you like, subscribe, listen. Doing some great things coming. Me and Kenneth both got some stuff dropping soon, so be on the lookout for it. Until then, next week we'll have John Hickman from the Locked On Texans. So makes always a pleasure to see him and Kershaw crack some jokes. So make sure you tune in next week. Until then, have a wonderful week, guys, and holler at you later.
Peace.
Yo, check it out, we reppin' for the Texas.